Yeah. Okay. So let me go straight into our agenda. Okay. So what we are trying to do as an organization, TNS there. Okay. And we are trying to be one of the adopters, not like an application adopter, but trying to build something which can, in the life cycle of a project, which you most of you may know, that we go via a discovery phase, a design phase, a build phase, a testing, and the run, where we are trying to build a kind of a product, or let's say a product with multiple branches using AI, which can connect into each of these phases of the project, and it can basically transform it. The transformation of the ERP can happen very quickly, saving a lot of time and effort, and much automated outcomes that the client can, the business, whichever it is, doesn't matter whether it is particular client that I will be discussing today or maybe any other. Yeah. So how we can leverage the new age technology to have that leap in our organization and be ahead of the curve. Okay. The next slide, I have shown here exactly what I was taking. What is our vision? Okay. Uh, our vision is basically in very high level. We want to help customers to have a faster delivery timeline. The risk must be lower, and we are always there to help them to generate that value. So it's not just a one-stop product we implement and that's it. We want to ensure that we are there whatever the change, because AI is not a static thing, it's dynamic, right? It's always changing, something or the other, always changing, and we must have that capability to adapt to those changes. And as I was telling, we want to have it in every phase, not just the discovery, which I'll be heavily focused on today's call, and what's our next plan of action. But keep in mind, we also, when we'll be speaking to the client, in a moment, I'll explain I'll tell who is our client and what we are trying to deal here. We also will be presenting a long-term strategy, a long-term roadmap that we want to help them. And there is a benefit. I'll share this deck as with all of you. There is a benefit in each of them. Okay, to use the AI to actually go for a faster implementation and high quality implementation. So all of us, mostly people like myself, Manjur, Tej, uh, for myself alone, I'm speaking here. I have been in this SAP consulting for 22 years. Yeah. And right now I am in actually in UK's largest central government working means organization. It's called HMRC. Okay. There, this particular phase took more than a year, even though you knew that many of the stuffs that we are doing are repetitive, but still it took more than a year. In 2024 December, I joined, and we are in 2026. Literally this year around means the last year around close to December when we actually signed this off, and we are in this phase at the moment. Okay, there is a kind of a overlap. But I'm not going to speak about which project I am and what we are planning to do. I'm just giving an example that in large organizations, what normally this timelines means, okay, and when the number of resources are there, a number of users are there, each of them bears a hidden cost, which we don't recognize, which even the clients don't recognize, and they end up in the ball games of this will be a change request to do that, and those kind of gaps are always there. We want to make it a transparent process, give them right at the before they start into their journey. This is your kind of goals that you are going to achieve and how you are going to get to those goals. Yeah. So right now I'm going to this slide you see. This is particularly based on a client called Buckinghamshire Council, UK Council, Buckinghamshire Council. You must have heard of the name Buckingham Palace and all. It's not linked to that, but this name, yeah, the council. It's like a in India or in any other places, another countries. Since we have today multi-country people from multiple countries globally, but try to think like a state government kind of thing, yeah, like a district council or a state government kind of thing. And that HMRC that I mentioned in UK is like a central government kind of thing, yeah. It's central, it's the revenue collection authority. So we are dealing, means myself and Tej are working on the business requirements phase of this project, and we are doing via one of our government approved preferred vendor, Mood Insight, who is with whom we have partnered to do quite a few things. Okay. Now, this numbers you see itself says that we are in a complex world. Yeah. I have given 2000 plus, but your business requirement, but the actual number of business requirements are more than 3500. Okay. Moscow means a classification of requirement, prioritization of the requirement. Must, okay, then that should, could, or won't have. Must have requirement means it's mandatory. We can't do without that requirement. Must. S stand for should. We should have it. Maybe we can have it, but it's not a showstopper. Could, similar kind of explanation. Won't, no, we don't want to have that. That's remove that requirement. So taxonomy, I'm going for some of the terminologies because these are business terms. Okay, we need to get ourselves, because for the next few days we'll be speaking in these terms where needed. Yeah. Taxonomy is an L1 to L4. Okay. A business process, when you break down a business, for example, a procurement, I'll give an example. Let's say sourcing and procurement is level 1. Below that, you can have, let's say, sourcing, and another one is, let's say, procurement. Yeah. Level 2. Level 3 may be requisitioning. Level 3 may be requisitioning in, or supplier onboarding in sourcing, and maybe requisitioning in procurement. Level 3. Level 4 means step may be this approval of supplier onboarding process, and level 4 on this procurement may be creation of a service purchase requisition, like that. Okay. So every business process has got a BPML, business process master list, which we also call as taxonomy. Okay. Every business in the world knows or have this. They know the hierarchy of their top to bottom, where are their process. If they don't have, then that's the first task they need to create it. Okay. That's a task that the client does, the business does. We don't tell them what to do, we help them. Anyway, coming to this phase, we are in this phase in Buckinghamshire, yeah, Council, discover. So, uh, what we are trying to do is analyze their requirements, not like one by one manually. We are first building those requirements, presenting it to the client, and now we'll be in the phase of evaluation, starting, actually, literally starting from next week till the end of July, when we have to give a kind of a output. Okay. But before even that, we need to build some output and also test it. But the good thing is a lot of things are already there. I'll show you. Okay. So we are trying to build up a tool which will evaluate the requirements against 16 ERPs in the world. You heard about SAP. I'll show which are the different ERPs we are considering, and then finalizing which ERP can do what requirement, and there are several other factors, and then finally giving a kind of a summary that we think SAP may not be the right product for you. Maybe Oracle is, or we think SAP is the right product, but you can't do with SAP just as it is. You need some wings to that. You may need Ariba, you may need Success Factor, you may need some other GRC licensing to help you doing this, your requirements. Okay, so that's the level of depth we are trying to achieve. So once that's done, and let's say client, we give a comprehensive analysis to the client evaluation, then they were the final decision makers. They will decide, okay, let's say we go ahead with SAP. So that phase will be done, and then we'll be looking into all those phases. In the meanwhile, let me just go through the slides and then deep dive into the Excel and speak on the AI tool, for which we all are here. Yeah. So yeah, these are mainly for the ERP evaluation criteria that we are applying. Okay. Uh, the enterprise risk, the compliance and statutory, the scalability, and the business principle. Business has given us 17 principles, which can't be ignored. That any of your criteria, any evaluation factor has to be based on that. Okay. So those are the different factors on which we are running a evaluation of around 3,000 requirements to say if it is good for SAP to do the meet those, or if it is. So when I say 3,000 requirements, we have already transformed them into functional requirements. Okay, but those functional requirements plus the principles plus the external, all these factors combined and all dumped into an AI that brings out some excellent output. Yeah. Now this is in a nutshell what we are aiming to do. From the 16 ERPs that we have to do the analysis, the top will be shortlisted, the top 5 will be shortlisted. And finally, whichever is shortlisted will be scored against all our requirements. So we'll validate all our requirements against each of those top 5 ERPs. Okay. Now, of course, then the things come. Okay, AI may be telling that a particular requirement is best suited for SAP. Who is there to validate that? That's a separate discussion between myself, Manjura, and Tej, where we'll be having someone to validate, expert SME level people to validate based on some of the ERP. SAP we can do, Oracle or Microsoft 365 or like that. We'll see who can help. If we can't, we can't. If we can validate, we'll validate. As simple as that. We are speaking to the client because it's difficult to get uh, the exact SMEs of particular ERPs. And in the European world, over here in the Western world, it's not just SAP or Oracle. I'll show you how many ERPs they deal with. Okay. So this is like in a nutshell what we will recommend. Like we will show ERPA that it can fulfill, let's say 88% of your requirement. ERPB like this, we are telling this, and this is what we are going to tell to the client, give to the client. We'll give them a clear recommendation, evidence. That's an important thing. It's backed up by evidence. Gaps, and what if there is a gap, we can still say no, it is possible to do in SAP, but you need with a customization, with a development. That's clearly a gap, but it is possible. Anything can be done in any ERP, or even without any ERP, the world can still run, right? You don't need a SAP or a Oracle or a Microsoft to run a business. You can run it on an Excel file also. You can run it on a Word document or an Excel file or some PowerPoints also. But that's not a viable thing, right? That the reason the products or the tools are there to build in some governance, to build in some controls, to bring in some automation, some flexibility, some reporting, some analytics. All those will be lost if we do everything manually. So we are going to look into all those steps. What are the gaps? Can you do it without a customization or not? And we'll present some ready for decision making purpose. Lots of things to be done. Yeah. So that's in a nutshell the discovery phase. I'll quickly go through the rest of the phase, which I have outlined how we want to use as an organization AI to help in the design. We want to generate the business process flows from the requirements. Yeah. So as I mentioned, taxonomy. The taxonomy itself tell from step 1 to step 2, to step 3 to step 4, what will be there. So we don't want someone to open a Visio and try to create those. All those work are waste now. we have to tell AI, these are your steps, go and build me my BPM and process flow. I will give them the roles, that this roles, this steps should be done by this role, that, and it will create them. We will see all this can happen today, but we have to, when we are in the business, we can't just tell the business that you can go to that particular AI and type it and do it. We have to sell it, right? Something we have to tell that this is your licensed product that we are giving to you. We use this, and we input this and you get that output, right? It's like that. We are also planning to create some business process document, and this is a big one in the design phase. Most of the consultants I have seen in SAP struggle to understand what they should configure, right? Because every business is different. So based on the business and the requirements, we want the AI itself to tell that should be your configuration, that should be your nodes, the SPRO node, that where you can configure. And I have myself seen it's possible. Yeah. So once it tells, it gives almost kind of a reference frame, and it can also generate the configuration documents easily. It gives you a reference frame of not making any mistake. Okay, because you have something based on the on your enterprise structure setup. The system itself will generate a config document. The system itself will say what to configure, and once we and it can also write what is my gaps in my requirement. It can also tell, okay, for to meet that gap you can generate a FS like this. So of course these are our next steps, long road, means views, our suggest means a kind of a vision. I'm not telling that we'll be able to do each of everything in the future. This is the future. Okay, every phase, if you see build, if you see test, if you see run, everywhere I have thought about something which I think we should incorporate in the journey of a end-to-end product life cycle to make it a sustainable thing, something which no one has done it. Okay, something which no one has done it. They all come up with automation of transaction, of workflow, but no one is thinking to where AI can be, or maybe people have started thinking and building, we don't know, but we are trying to exactly this, reimagine ERP delivery as an intelligent continuous capability. Yeah, we want to utilize AI in each phase of a ERP project, ERP transformation, and bring a automated kind of a product. Okay, now coming back to the our discovery. First of all, any queries up to this point before I jump into the detailed of the discovery and the excels? If any query you can ask. I can't see any hand, so else I will move on. Okay. Okay. Okay, fine. So now let me show you what I was telling when I said that we are doing some, the business has some principles, business principles. You can see that in this Excel, where it is, these are their principles, their criterias. In an ERP, the selection criteria that ensures that the ERP is good for them. What is a ERP? A ERP, I hope you understand that, right? So it is basically able to do your, in other words, simple words, it able to run your finance, able to run your procurement, your sales, your treasury, your cash management, your taxation, everything in one system, on one tool, or one system, on one software. That's what an ERP. There are a number of ERPs in the world. Okay, so they have 17 principles. Each, you can see, if the ERP is unable to meet any of these past requirement, then it falls under the fail factors. That ERP is not a good one against that functionality, against that particular principle. Okay, so 17 principles they have. Okay, so based on which we are trying to uh, go for the non-functional judgment of the ERP. The functional judgment is based on more than 3000 requirements, which Excel file I cannot show you, but just to give you an idea of how an Excel file looks like. See, these are our like sourcing and procurement requirements. Okay. You can see I was telling Moscow, which is must, should. So there, these are the different requirements for sourcing. Okay. And then we have different requirements for procurement as well. Okay. So like this, we have 9 functional work streams here. We are trying to do for all of them. We have sourcing, procurement, inventory, order to cash, treasury, uh, grants management, finance. Then you have cash management, you have lease management, and a lot of functionals. Okay, project accounting. Okay, a lot of functional modules are there, or work streams are there, who are collating their business requirement in the way we are doing it. They are also doing their stuff. So when you actually make one big Excel, or don't no need to make also, when you have such Excel files, you will get almost like more than 3000 requirements, business requirements. Okay. So that's the functional requirements. Okay. And those are the principles of what an ERP. These are the, let's say, the header level or high level criteria for a ERP, because it has reporting, integration, automation, functionality. Almost every ERP in the world will say that we can do this, we can do that, we can track, we can adapt, not adapt, we can do all this. Almost all ERP will say, but they fail where? When we actually put our detailed requirement, they may say no, I can't do that onboarding of supplier. For me, it is not possible. For me, like that, they can say, yeah. So that's the task. So what I did now, straight away to the uh, things that I have been working with Tej as well, and I have been discussing with Manjur. Let me be very honest here. I have been using, as all the world is currently using, I have been using Claude. Yeah. So Claude AI I have been using. Okay, even SAP has a product called SAP Joule. I am SAP Joule certified. I have studied a lot also. I'm also certified consultant on business AI, and it also uses Anthropic. Okay, and most of it. So Claude, I'm using Claude Opus 4.8. Yeah, and it gives, and honestly, I haven't seen so closest or almost dead right perfection in any of the other AIs that I have used a lot. Okay, platforms. Okay, Claude is, because I try to fail it with so many SAP level questions which are domain, and it still manages to answer it correctly, and which makes it quite okay. Yeah. So now coming to what I have done. So based on this, you see the not these requirements, but based on the these principles. Okay, what we done, when I put it on Claude, okay, and ask Claude to actually give me a based on the ERPs. Okay, the ERPs we are using, you see, S4HANA, Oracle Fusion, Microsoft, Unit 4, Workday, Technology One, Certina, Infor, Deltek, XLedger, Sage. So the client wants to go for a fair assessment of all the big ERPs in the world. They don't want to just, we tell them, oh, why not use SAP? They will tell why. I'm a government, I must have a fair judgment. That's how the Western world or the European world, they make a judgment, right? In many times you go for the most fair assessment, because ultimately they need to get their all budget and all money passed, right? Everyone may ask why you are not using Unit 4, that's such a great product. Is there during audit, they will say that why you are not using Technology One? Is there a reason why you are using SAP? They should have those validated uh, data to show that why they have chosen a particular ERP. At the end, we all know they will go with SAP only, because currently they are on ECC, but they have to show, right, to prove to anyone, even in audit, that why they did not consider the remaining things. So, by the way, coming back again, so what I did is I first gave a weightage, okay, of all the different principles that the client gave, and you see that I gave a highest. for this. I more or less kept everything at out of 10 like that. Okay, and gave this as the top priority, the budgeting and the finance kind of thing. Okay, and then you change the score, whatever you change it, weightage, the score will change. That's okay. And then it looked into the detailed justification of the scoring matrix against each of those principles. It then the Claude was able to tell which should get what score. Okay, then I asked Claude, and it gave a kind of a score. You can clearly see that from this, like SAP, Oracle, and Microsoft are the top three. Okay, and then it gave a kind of a ranking. It did a comparison. Okay, and a kind of a weightage. Sorry, the weightage was given by me, and the kind of a ranking summary. Okay, what it is doing, why it is ranking that, and a detailed justification. Okay, why it is justifying that it gets 5 and all. But when I showed it to the client, they started to get a bit interested. They told, oh, that's fantastic. But that's mainly on the principles. What if we have other factors? What if we considered the best of breed ERPs, means multiple ERPs, not just one? What if we consider the requirements? What the cost factor? All those they started talking. The more they talk, the better it is, because that brings work. Okay, and then what I did, I looked into each of the uh, functionalities that they have purchased to pay, and these are like the must requirements. I was showing a file right here, like we have Moscow rating must means you can't get rid of that, you have to meet that requirement. So I was just looking into some must requirements against each of these module, and I found that these are the top 5 ERPs which can meet most of them. Okay, most of them. Then I was going by the best of breed approach. So when I say most of them, and then there was a detailed scoring, that this all are done by Claude, by the way. Okay, and then under purchase to pay, who is getting what, which are the top 5 ERPs. Because the first thing I did, I was already from this scoring thing, we already came to know who are the top 5. Okay, and then I started looking into the further drill down into the top 5. Okay, and understanding, are they good enough? Can they do cash management? How, what is their scoring in grants management, order to cash, in project accounting? Because the client at the end needs all these functionalities, right? They can't work without tax. But maybe unit 4 is fantastic in let's say HR, but absolutely worst in tax. They can't do that. They need a product which can do more or less 4 or 5, right? If it is 3, then that challenge was offered to me. Like, okay, if I tell you, you are telling me that unit 4 is 3, what can you do to a unit 4 to make it like a 5? So that comes the best of breed approach. Okay, where I told this Claude that look into this file, and you see that the scoring has been given. What does the ERP needs to do to make it one of the best one? So it clearly gave me that if you want to be like Microsoft Dynamics 365 can't do some particular task, that is banking via BCM and Swift banking, it told that you have to have connectors and all. So these are the kind of suggestions that the client also is looking for, that because that gives a kind of in-depth analysis that has happened to justify the buying of a costly product like SAP. See, this is like a heavy investment by the client, right? SAP is one of the most expensive product, S4 HANA, and honestly, it's not a good also, and not that great also. I would say it's not that great. Sugar coated ERP, but it has a lot of things connected with most of the clients in the world. It has now a lot of wings. It will tell that you can do sourcing in Ariba, you can do hybrids sales, you can do treasury, you can do this, that. So it is slowly buying multiple small suppliers product and integrating into their own. and that is making SAP such a robust platform. Okay, so we also, client was also interested in, okay, you are saying that SAP is one of the best among all those, and can you give a kind of a cost in estimate? What will be the product cost? Okay, so that made me to introduce the cost dashboard. See, if you go for SAP, you are looking at like a 5.8 million pound. This is a GBP. 5.8 million means quite a lot. Around, I think, how much? Maybe 500 or something when it comes to in INR. 500 crores close or something, or 50 crores, or I don't know. Yeah, forgot. But yeah,
60
5.8
crore,
million,
huh? Close to
60
60
crores.
crore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just the cost, total cost of ownership. Yeah. SI partner puts his own cost, whoever implements, right? This is based on 1,000 users. Buckinghamshire Council has got more than 2,000 users, but this figure is if there is 1,000 ERP users for a 3-year subscription or cloud-based subscription, that's what it takes to implement the all these run and maintain cost for just 5 years based on 1,000 users. Okay, if the number of users are 2,000, the cost may be more, and also at the top of it, the SI partner, means the system integrator, they have their own time and material or say resources cost. So you can already understand that for a SAP or a Oracle or a another ERP implementation, the minimum cost you it will be like a 60 crore, as Manjur mentioned. Okay, because rest of this they won't go. They would play around the big ERPs, either Oracle or SAP or Microsoft, like it's close to 50 crore. And then another 50 crores may be just given to the resources who are working the so many other things. So it's like a big investment. It's like 100 200 crores easy investment for the client to do a product, to implement a product. Okay, so, and hence these are very important parameters. With AI, we are now helping them to give them those costs, which it is almost impossible to understand even before a project starts. Yeah, I told you we are in the discovery phase, and it is also presenting me a kind of a management read, that which they would be interested to learn or understand. Yeah, and then it's giving for each of the module how it scores and all. So in a nutshell, that's what you saw today is exactly what you are planning to do. Okay, since when I was already showing this to the client, I was almost like telling them or trying to sell it like our team is building it and I'm showing you. Yeah, that's, but we have to now build this, because if we can build this, which I believe will be not difficult, because I am showing this, all we need to know now, if let me go to a slide, and here I need the help of all the uh, AI people or experts, and hence that's the call today, to put their comments or anything that you want. What I'm trying to do here, okay, maybe a kind of a front end window. Okay, let's say a front end, how can I do this, a front end window kind of thing, a portal where we put it like, let's say, a design, okay, a build like this, which they will be able to, let's say, design discovery, it's opposite, but like this. Yeah, like this, there it is, opens. Then it asks what you want to do here, or click which phase of the project you are. Let's say I click discovery, then it gives you like do you have the taxonomy built, do you have the requirements, or do you like, it keeps on asking, which we can think of. Okay, ultimately the backend you are going to use is Claude only, but we don't have to tell the client that we are using a Claude. The client will be just bearing the subscription and the cost that they have to licensing cost, because we are in discussion of that as well. So maybe a kind of a front end page which gives us the like we can name it by the client as well, and then we make it like similar to what I was showing, like a like something like this. Yeah, the page, when you click on it, it gives you those kind of questions where it will give me this kind of output. Maybe one of the questions, do you have any principles to for the best or the criteria on which? The answer is yes. Upload the this or something, you already upload it. Okay. And then what it does, it actually then calls in Claude, maybe if you want to use it in that way, and it actually builds you something in that way. Am I making sense while I was talking all this? Does it sound like doable? Because at what we are trying to do the most is come to this kind of analysis which we do actually, right? Because on a daily basis, like when I am using like Anthropic, yeah. When I'm using this, I and you can see that when I'm asking it, give me what I need to get, or give me that. Yeah, I'm basically I'm getting the things that I want to see, and I want to get the requirements evaluated and make it into a summarized view as I'm showing. So but we can't just tell a business that, listen, you to go and take your license to this and do it, because business, as you all know, no one is going to help them with the criterias in each phase to run their AI enabled business, right? We are trying to get our fit in a kind of a product which has the capability to uh, be in each of these phase. And how we build the capability is how we have mentioned here. I showed you the discovery. Over there, these are our what we are planning to do in the discovery, what we are trying to do. Similarly, in the design, this is what we are trying to do. In the build, this is. So we are trying to get into a kind of a tool which will help any business in the world to get a 40 to 60% turnaround time and more revenue. Any questions? Am I making sense on what I'm discussing, or uh, what do you think? Is this all okay to do? Can you do all this? Manjur or any of the team, if you want to speak?
So, I think the team has got a very good idea around the vision, right, that we have around this. The short term aspect or the short term goal for this project is to build a tool and present to the client that can give us this kind of assessment that Somnath has shown already, everyone. Okay. So we will be giving certain input and the tool will do the rest based on the input and give us this kind of shiny deck or presentation that can be uh, that can create some wow factor, right, in the client's mind. But yeah, the long term goal is like across all the phases of the project, certain deliverables can be generated using that tool, and the tool can be acting as a real assistant to the consultants so that we can cut down the time by 40 to 60%, right? So ultimately, the purpose of AI here would be like having a smart assistant that can help us gain more efficiency and productivity. Okay, but first thing first, Somnath, we have to build this tool, right, so that we can show the client what input we are giving and how the tool is giving this kind of assessment as the
Yeah,
output. Yeah.
exactly. So what I was,
Having a
yeah,
question actually, Manzoor.
yeah, tell.
So
Yeah. Go ahead.
first and
Yeah.
for Somnath, this is really great presentation. I joined late, but I'm going to watch the recording. Whatever I participated in the last minute and all, everything is pretty much doable. Not only using Claude, there are like other AI tools which are building
Wonderful,
apps.
wonderful,
So
wonderful.
let's say, for example, um, if I share my screen quickly here.
Yeah, yeah, sure,
um,
sure. That's the
so
main
I'm
goal.
just giving an example. So this is what Claude Code built for me. It's just a simple expense management tool. Within 10 seconds it built out. So with the prompt, whatever I have given, if you see here with the context and all. So there are certain things which you need to add in the Claude to make that more intelligent. Giving certain keywords. There are a lot of keywords are there, which will twists and turns these things, right? And basically, the whole point is my question is, are we going to reveal to the client that we are using Claude? Because It depends. Ultimately, if this we are sharing with the client, so we have to, so Claude, we using Cloud Code, if, and especially with the Cloud Code, it has its own GitHub and everything. So GitHub is always owned by the client, and also
Okay,
this,
I
right?
want to just take a pause there, Kostov. Client
Hmm.
has specifically asked they want our IP, they want the product. So
Hmm.
we have to tell them that listen, if you want to get this tool, okay, the discovery phase of the tool, because see the way a contract works, like every phase as it goes, a new contract gets signed for the design, now for the build, like that it will, okay, milestone kind of billing. So they, if we tell them that if you get this tool, you have to bear the cost of the platforms, the license, probably they will say, yes, we will bear the cost.
And one very important thing here, Kostov, to answer your first question, we will go with Claude because we are dealing with SAP, and for SAP, Claude is the best platform so far developed. Okay, so yes, we'll go with Claude.
Hmm. The problem, okay.
But we can't just tell client that, listen, you have, there is something called Claude. You go there, put your question, and you'll get your
Correct,
answer. Yeah,
correct.
we have to tell that, look, this is your product. They see they are business people, they make discussions, strategic decisions that runs the country. They are government, okay, they are public sector, central government, tax and finance and all. They are least bothered like which code in the world is giving me. They want to see shiny things, they want to get put it something there and comes out. We will speak to their IT guys, IT department, and tell them that for that front end to work, you need that back end, and you have so many users, you have to be at the license cost, we have to take the this up anthropic or what, and we'll tell them all those cost perspective. But as a tool, they don't need to see like which AI LLM is doing what. They will put a query, which we can also restrict them to the queries if we want. If we want them to shorten it, we can put the keyword specifically on the screen so that they click on it and they get something out of it in that way as well.
No,
Okay.
no. So from the UI usage perspective, that is not a problem. Here now the current problem what I am facing, the consumer is becoming less. Whoever like is one day I will show you, like I have built 7 products. Okay, 7 products are all SaaS products because I haven't um, like what dedicated build any product for a client, because if you go to the client, entire IT team of all, at least in North America, I don't know about the London or the EMEA part. EMEA is also doing heavily. Everybody has their own cloud licenses. The major problem, what I'm just telling you, the current problem what I was facing for the last couple of months after Anthropic's Opus 4.7 model. The problem what I was facing, that everybody has now become a developer. There is, yeah, I mean, telling you the naked truth, basically. Whoever I'm talking, oh, I am also using Claude. And a salesperson in his life, 18 years of sales career, he is also building a product, and now he is also trying to sell it. So there is a major problem. So if this product is amazing, Somnath, by the way, the second thing is like, what is your plan? Need to know if you are thinking that this product will become a SaaS application and you can sell it to multiple clients, that is a total different ball game. But if you are planning to come, sell it dedicated to a client, and when the IT team will come, they want to own everything because they are paying. So you have to share your GitHub repository and everything. Then the cloud code will come into the picture. What my concern is, whatever, just between you and Munzir, you can talk. If somebody from salesperson 18 years are building a product with the cloud code, anybody on this planet right now can build it. So we have to be
So
very careful in terms of the cost.
yeah,
Just I shared
no, no,
whatever
that's
I have
that's
seen
that's
in the couple
great.
of months.
No, no, that's wonderful too. It's and exactly the main purpose of the discussion, this meeting, was to understand that kind of thing as well. So Manjur, can we protect our product, or do we want to protect? That's the next question then.
No, my
Yes,
whole point
that was my
is,
question.
there is nothing to protect here, right? So, Somnath, our deliverables are ready, but the way we are promoting this whole thing is like we have built one assessment tool, right, that you can use in future for your other clients as well, right? That is our version to
So
do
what I will
inside,
think
right?
like then,
Yeah,
Kostab and Manjud
Mm.
and Tej also you can tell here. Let's first, since our time is very less now, we have to turn around in a month. Let's
correct.
first give this discovery thing as it is, but in parallel, we when we present this to the client, our long-term vision of helping them in each of that, they will automatically tell us, yes, we need that. We will start a maybe a parallel work to maybe do some sustainable, protected kind of a
Um,
product.
I can tell you
Um,
all those ideas. So I have everything
Yes.
in place right now. So we can discuss on that. So two aspects here right now. One is one is the SaaS application where you guys will be the owner of the product and all the clients will be the subscribed. It would be a B2B model, right? That is one thing. If you do not want to go in that route and categorically build with your one client, never ever say that we are building anything using Claude. Simple. Claude will give you the GitHub. Our job will be to transfer that GitHub. Whatever enhancement will be done in the future and everything, we will be the development team here from your side will be working in
Exactly.
the Claude or whatever.
Exactly.
We will do whatever the branch commit changes and everything, and we'll showcase them to that client that we are going with the TNM model in the sprint model or whatever. Whatever sprint stories are built out or the epic will be built out, we will be delivering. But behind the scene, what the developers are using, instead of writing the code,
Brilliant.
see,
Brilliant.
even
Yes.
even if we don't use Claude also, right? People are going with the LLM to get the code and copy pasting it, right? Whatever we are doing. The
Brilliant.
only difference
Brilliant.
right now is
Yeah.
Opus 4.7 and even 4.8, which got released last week, right? It's
Yes.
more powerful, but
Yes.
we have to do mix and matches because 4.8 actually it is very very costly, right? It consumes
Yeah. Yeah.
very
Yeah.
costly tokens.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
uh,
that brainstorming what we have to do in case of showcasing the client, but whatever you have just showed, like it pretty much easily doable.
Yeah.
but
Tej,
also
you
the
want
other
to
thing
come?
is not to understand. Yeah, just I
Yeah.
think one thing from working in many implementations is that we can't understate the work that Somnath has shown us. Because even if someone has a Claude subscription, to get to the point where Somnath has got to, I mean, he's in-depth knowledge in terms of what he's displayed and his experience on multiple projects has really refined it to the point where the client is interested. So even if someone came in with trying to replicate that, I think they would struggle. So I don't think we should underestimate also, what Somnath has developed.
So,
It's
Correct,
so,
very,
so
very
correct.
what we,
powerful. A great
so
accelerator of an implementation tool.
exactly. So I do hear Kostab's point, and I think I like that because we were Tej, if you remember Tej Manjuru, we were discussing in that direction because Yan, our one of our client head, he wanted
Yeah.
to get a kind of a proposal from us. I think we should clearly mention that thing what Kostab mentioned, that the product you can use it, but the support system will be from our side. Our developers will, whenever you want to go ahead with any change or any addition, our developers will step in and like a long-term engagement that we are looking for, right, Manjur?
The only challenge here is if we go down that path of that SaaS model, right? So, like pay per use kind of a model. In that case, the cloud token cost, right? That we have to incur and we have to bill it back to the client actually somehow, right? So that will be a bit tricky. So we have to look at the pros and cons of both the approaches. One option is building something for the client, but yes, we can always replicate
So
the same thing for ourselves
can I just
as well.
can I just
No,
ask Kostab?
Manjur, if you see the syllabus what I have released, right?
Mhm.
The cost of the API I am bearing from my own pocket. Now the question is where I am getting the money. So the money will come from the subscription, number of subscriptions. Simple as that. If you go with the SaaS application, you have to market your tool, you have to get the B2B customers, and you will
Kostab,
you will have
Kostab,
the
Kostab,
money.
Kostab. We will talk about this later. Okay, let's
Yeah,
focus on
but
this
my
project.
question, my
Yeah.
question is simple. I am not discouraging anything. Anybody, fourth grade standard student can also build anything right now, and I can show it to you. So
Kostab,
if you give the
Okay,
any Excel sheet as an input, it will generate whatever you want, especially
okay,
Claude 4.7 and
that's
4.8 models.
sure, sure. But
okay,
we should
okay.
not be highlighting those things And see,
Yes.
if we are on, let's say, on 2nd of June today, if
Correct.
they are this big organizations, they have been dealing with on a daily basis, if they have come to us for a help, we have to show that encouragement that yes, we are the right people to help you,
Correct.
and we are the right people to accelerate your project in the right direction. Okay, we, though in our mind we know that okay, what they are asking is they can do their own, but that's how every business in the world works, right? We have to somehow engage them to believe in us, that we are the experts who are doing on their behalf and helping them, so it's a win-win for all. Because at the end, in any business, we work for what? We just work for financial improvement of an organization, right? From all, from our side and also for the client side, they also want to turn. So having said a lot of words, and it's quite late at your place, so if we are all in agreement that it's doable, maybe then, Manjur, we need to get some meetings in. I will share this, and maybe we need to work on, once we finalize our agreement with Ian,
Correct.
work on,
Correct.
work on the tool, work on the data of the tool, and any validations, any testing, any documentation, so that our whole AI team can be engaged in
Correct.
those pieces of work, right? It should not be like one person working. It should be, and see, in this environment or in this ecosystem, we all work as a team, right? No one great player can do anything. We all have to be team, and we have to go ahead, building others around us as well. So we work as a team. We take the ownership and responsibility of pieces of work what we are doing. We collect it, we gather it, we build it, and we show it. That's as simple as that. But all this will start. We have a commercial agreement to take place. We will discuss with our client, and maybe within this week we'll come up with some news, and we can kickstart on our side. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Somnath, before we conclude, right? So let's summarize certain things. Number one, let us understand one thing very clearly, everyone. We are building this for a company, a client. Okay. So as of now, we are not looking at this kind of building a SaaS product. Yeah, that's not how we are looking at this thing. Okay. But of course, in parallel, we can do something like that, and we can build something in future that can be used by other clients. Okay. That's number one. So for the design aspect, let's focus on that part. All right. That's number one. Number two, we have to deliver this product in a very short amount of time, maximum 4 to 5 weeks, because client has seen the output and they know that we have a tool, but in reality, we have part of our tool, I would say. Okay. Uh, but we have to build something that is tangible, that is presentable. So we have to make a nice enterprise grade, presentable product with a nice front end, which can generate this kind of output that Somnath has shown. And you have seen it's very, very detailed. Okay, something like that we have to prepare, or we have to get our output, get the output right to the tool. And the last thing here is, Somnath, over the course of next couple of days, we have to clearly define the input. Okay, what what input we will give to the tool, right? Because based
Absolutely.
on that only,
Absolutely.
the front end team, which is primarily Manisha here, she will design the front end for us. Okay.
Absolutely. So I will work around that maybe, and put all the input criterias and what kind of output we are planning to look into. Okay, all those I've already thought about it. I'll maybe by the end of this week I can share those details.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At a very high
And
level, right? That
also,
should be fine. Yeah,
Manzoor,
yeah.
can we get this spreadsheet or any artifacts so that we can go through?
Yes, yes, you will get that.
I'll share.
Somnath,
I'll share.
you
Okay.
I'll
can
share.
share,
Okay.
right? Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Perfect.
one thing I forgot. Well, from the licensing perspective, right? So as of now, we already have Claude license. So Somnath, we can use your license, right,
Yeah.
for the
Yeah. Yeah.
development.
Yeah. We can
Yeah,
use.
yeah.
Use.
Okay, okay. Because
It's a
my
Pro Max,
license,
so it can unlimited. It
yes,
goes. I don't.
awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Yes, yes. So we can use your license. Then of course, they have to Mood Insight has to buy their own license, right? So once we are
That they
done,
will do. That they will
that
do.
they will
Yeah.
do. Yes, they have no worries with that. Correct.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So we
Okay.
will again
So
regroup probably end of this week after discussion with Ian, or maybe early next week, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you all. It's a pleasure
Thank you so much.
meeting all
Yeah,
of you. Yeah, yeah. So yes, see, many of these things will happen in future and all, but let's try to do something different. Yeah. Thank you all.
absolutely
Take
so much.
care.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Good to
Yeah.
meet
Share
you all.
those
Thank
documents
you.
and we'll do our research.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
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 Bye.